me on the secure line.
Please hold.
Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Not too much. Just got finished with lunch with a friend.
Nice, nice. I had a lunch with one of our friends yesterday.
And this friend's name is.
Bay.
Oh, got it. I'm like, okay. Uh,
I had lunch with Bay yesterday. It was awesome. It was
I
good
saw
to see him. I haven't seen him since he moved out.
uh I saw Bay for the first time this year, yesterday.
No way.
Which seems kind of insane since we work together. Um, but yeah, like what a guy. He's the best.
He's really the best.
Yeah. How's today going?
Today's going good. I have gratitude releasing tomorrow, which is
Okay.
like exciting. I feel now that like my team is like growing on the back end, I feel a lot less like stressed and anxious and more like, okay, typically like today I'll prep like everything for release day. Like so I work tomorrow and
Mm,
and so I typically work on release days and it's like the most stressful thing ever because I want to be present for like the release.
mm,
But
mm,
then I but then I have to be present for work. And so like today I'm prepping like all the posts that would go out tomorrow and making sure like press and radio is like nothing needed from me tomorrow and then
yeah.
I'll kind of ride whatever I did today for the next couple of days
Mm,
while I work and then next week I'll get down to business and create more content and stuff like that. So yeah, today's just a big content day and then I typically do therapy on Thursdays and then go over to Blake's to work on music. So it's really busy.
yeah. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves. What's your name? What do you do?
Oh my gosh. Hi guys. Grace Graber. My name is Grace Graber. I do Christian punk. What if Stephen Floyd went punk? I I do Christian music, so I tour, I post content, I am a podcast host, I am a what else? But I work full time at a spa. I work my cat is eating something. He should not be eating. Um I work at a spa to make money to make music because I'm an independent artist and I have to pay for music. So that's fun. It's stressful, but it's fun.
Yeah. Uh, every episode, I have a question for my guests. And my
Okay,
question for you, I feel like this is a decent transition. Can you
I
share a
love it.
story with us about one of the more difficult moments you've experienced in chasing this dream?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, where that's a loaded question, I guess. Like I had, oh yeah, well, there's like, so I'm kind of in a, you're catching me. I can't wait. Maybe we'll do a podcast episode later when things are announced because like there is a
Mm-hmm.
really cool story that I can't share, but like I can't share like what happened after it. But what I can share is like last year was so hard because I was giving it everything I got and I felt like all the winning was just it just felt like losing. Like
Mm,
I can't tell you how many times, I mean even to this day, like this is really stressful work doing all of this. And even to this day, like people go, man, you just make it look effortless. You make it look,
mm,
and it's like, I almost quit like 5 times last year.
yeah.
and I actually feel like, the things that you're seeing it look effortless because I'm constantly trying to fight striving. Um, yeah, striving mentality. I got to a place where I was super content like in 2024 and then 2025 like so many opportunities were opened up and possibilities that I kind of wanted to just chase those possibilities and I was just met with like, not rejection, just met with like a lot of like, oh, this isn't, it was just hard. And it was hard to, everything was just harder than usual.
Mm,
And now everything's a lot easier than usual, which is crazy because I'm like really, I've let go of a lot, like a ton I've let go. And so last year I just feel like I was white knuckling everything. And then to the point where there was like I went back on like anti-anxiety and antidepressants, and then I accidentally like put myself into serotonin syndrome, so serotonin shock. And then that was like a wake up call for me because I thought like the way to like fix this season was by like practicing what I preach, which is going and seeing a doctor and getting on medication and doing this and doing that. But I was overdoing it with supplements, and
mm,
I ended up being on two medications at the same time that one of them I didn't need to be on, but I wanted to try it, and it put me into serotonin shock. So
jeez.
I was forced to completely, and I don't know, like serotonin syndrome, serotonin shock. I've heard it called two different things, but basically it's when your body over produces serotonin, and it like makes you feel kind of like high, and it put me into straight panic attacks for a full week. I
Mm,
couldn't work. I was still playing shows, and that was hard, but I had a whole team of people like my band and my husband just like coming to they like just coming to the shows and just constantly making me drink water to detox. And that was kind of a big wake up call because I felt that those panic attacks that as a teen I would feel,
mm.
um, and I had felt them for the first time in like like 15 years.
Oh, that's scary.
So it was really scary, but ultimately it showed me that like no matter how much I try to like quote fix it, what God's gonna make me do is just sit down and take a breather. Like
Mm, yeah.
so I feel like that like last year there's so many different stories, and something cool that happened immediately after that like is currently happening now in my life in the background. I can't like talk too much about it, but it's like God had to slow me down for me to gain a little bit of perspective so that when I
Mm,
was put into like the throne room of like kings and people who could make things happen for me, I didn't care because I was just happy to be stable again.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just happy to be stable again. And yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of things as like artists, and it's just a grind. You have to choose to do it for the love of doing it and for the your why. Oh, I was literally interviewing an artist the other day, and he was like, it's important to keep your why before your what. And so I feel like
Ooh.
artists, we constantly, yeah, yeah, yeah. Josh Wilson said that. I love Josh. Shout out Josh. But he, yeah, he was like, sometimes as artists, we put our what before our why, and that's like that's where we can kind of fall short a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing better so far this year.
I'm
Uh,
doing so great. I'm like literally living in like my Hannah Montana dreams.
uh, I was just talking at lunch about you, and I was saying like
What?
really good things, I promise. Really like maybe I guess the first half of your at least your most recent attempt at the focused music career I was involved in, but the past maybe 2 years, maybe two and a half, you've been doing your own thing with a new cast of incredible characters. Uh, and I love that. It's to me, it always felt like you knew what you were doing. You didn't need me specifically. Like I just when I saw something that was dope, I was like, yeah, chase that. Um,
Mhm.
do you feel like you still have someone supportive like that to be like, okay, I'm surveying over everything you're doing. This is dope. This is dope. Let's chase these things.
Yeah, I have like a like super incredible childhood hero mentor in my life who I'll keep unnamed right now, but like I have someone in my life mentoring me right now as an artist to artist, which is that's been like, I can't tell you the weight off my chest I feel,
Mm,
um, like, having a mentor that actually understands what you're doing and, like, what you're trying to do, and then also helping you kinda pivot to, like, here's, like, an action like, here's a tangible way to probably make money off of this later, like, to
yeah,
have
yeah.
someone like that, I think, like, yeah, I mean, espe when I first met you and we first worked together, I felt weak as a Christian talking about mental health,
Mm,
and I needed someone, and because we met before you had any kind of success in the Christian music industry, we met, and I could see the dreamer in you, and I felt safe with it. And
mm,
so I I know, like, you played a monumental role with Conversation, and I wrote this song called Conversation, and I felt crazy. And I did and when I brought it to town, I'd show people and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, if you ever do that, like, you're never gonna be on K-Love, that's crazy," you know? And,
mm,
like, but you were the one person, like, industry-wise, and then later, you ended up working for a label, which is awesome. It's like, "Oh, that's so validating to know he was right about like, he's, like, professional now," but, like, you just told me, like, "Go ahead and pursue the thing that, like, feels the most authentic to you," and that taught me to, like, then listen to the authenticity because I feel like as artists, we kinda push that authenticity down in order to be palatable in a
mm.
sense. Um, and so when I brought you authenticity, you said, "Oh, there it is." And now I'm able t I now you taught me how to notice what authenticity is. And so now I have all of these ideas that I know are authentic to me, but also, like, I mean, even my producer Blake and, like, I have, like, a whole group chat on my phone, Team Graber, that they're my band and my mentors, and, like, I'm gonna text them all and ask them these questions anyways, so might as well just have a group chat, just
Mhm.
also to see what each other is saying too. It's quite fun. It's fun to watch them then, like, start, like, not arguing, but, like, picking each other's brain about an idea that I, like, pitched to them, and, I for them to help me funnel that authenticity and, like, bring it down a couple notches to what is actually worth our time to be pursuing right now and what's not. Because 'Cause I'm the type of person who would pursue 20 things at once, but now because of mentorship and because I have a crew that's like, "Hey, like, what song are we doing next? Like, we wanna work on something that's worth everyone's time," essentially, like,
Yeah,
it's like everyone now decides, my band, Blake, they are all going, "Okay, this feels worth everyone's time." And so it's like it aligns with what Grace is trying to do and aligns with what we're trying to do. And, like, I feel like, yeah, there's been a huge shift since you and I worked together because I'm I can recognize the authenticity, and now I have people who actually wanna help me verbalize it and harness it and, like, work on it a little more. Because I know I would just send you demos and go, "What do you think? What do you think?" And,
mhm.
like, "What do you think about this?" And but now I have people going, "Okay, we like this idea, but also have you thought of this?
Yeah.
Also, what about this?" And to have multiple people in my corner who are thinking that way, I'm not gonna lie, like, a today, like, a release day for a song that I literally had to push out a different song in order to get this out because it went viral, like,
Mhm.
it makes today less scary because I know I have a group of people who worked really hard on this and want to see it succeed too, and so I don't have to, like, do it alone.
Yeah, I
I
think you've
think you taught
yeah.
me how not to do it alone. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. I think you've landed on something that every independent artist either very boldly and outwardly wants or secretly wants, and that's just a team of people who believe in them.
Yeah.
Usually that looks like a label, and they're signing to them and they're paying for all the records or whatever, but just like to keep your autonomy and keep your vision as the main thing, and to find people who would come alongside that and work basically for free because they believe in you. that is
Basically,
the
yeah.
that's the ultimate dream for an artist, I think.
I think so too, and it creates, I mean, you mentioned labels. I'm not opposed to labels. Like
Yeah.
I think I was for so long, and I would say it in press releases, and I would like it's some evil, but now it's like now that I've done everything I've ever wanted to do, I'm kind of like, okay, I see the point in like now creating a job workflow. But what I've created and what I'm continuing to create is kind of like negotiation power. I feel like like it's like,
Mm,
hey, we have something that is like semi working over here, and it's something different than anything else in the industry. Like yeah, you guys could try to restart that from scratch, but like there's going to come a time and a point where I can't financially keep doing this. And
mm,
it's like, hey, hey, what do you guys think? Like, anyone else want to be a part of this too? I think that's like, I think what I've been learning a lot in the season too is just open hand. Like, don't, just because I've seen a couple bad deals happen, don't think every deal is a bad deal. And now because I have a team, they'll help me navigate what is better for me later. But I think, yeah, like you said it correctly. I have everything I have ever asked for and ever wanted.
mm.
And a lot of artists reach out to me and ask me how I got it, and I couldn't explain it to you because the Lord just kept opening doors. And so I'm really, every time I open my computer, every time I'm sitting with Jesus and getting ready for something that I can't talk about, but it's like every time I'm getting ready for what God has put in front of me, I feel him go, enjoy this. You have
Mm,
to enjoy it. And actually one of my favorite drummers from one of my favorite bands, he DM'd me like a year ago and was like basically begging me to like take one day at a time and enjoy every single moment. And I
mm,
found out later from another member that he was always focused on the next show, the next single,
mhm.
the next this, the next that. And the other member looked at me and said, "You know why he messaged you, right?" And I was like, "No." And it's like, because that's what he struggled with the most. And it's kind of like I'm trying to do that right now, and there's no like instructions on staying present, but what I
Yeah.
can do is just enjoy, and not want more. And like
Mm,
while I'm like thinking about my future while all of this is like really happening, you're right. Like I have everything I literally prayed for in
yeah,
my
dude.
hand. And so, to be honest with you, I think God really wanted me to get to this place so that he could kind of show off. No, like truly,
Yeah.
because now I can't, like, Steven, I don't know what else I want to do. I
Mm,
don't know. I'm in a place where now it's like I'm having conversations with people going, hey, tell me what I should do next because I kind of did it. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going, but like to be honest, like this was as big as I could dream. We got here and now God gets whatever he does next. It's like really God's plan because I don't have anything planned beyond this next year. So, and I totally didn't have what I'm currently working on like in my head as a freaking opportunity
yeah.
like I didn't and there's other things that's like, I didn't ask for that. That's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you, for sure.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Well, shoot, that's all I had, unless you have something for me.
No, no,
You
I
don't
like
have to.
I want to like I I love that I love that you love podcasting. I love that you do these things. What do you hearing all of that like and watching it for me, what do you wish like people would take away from that specifically? Watching me grow and then
Mm,
watching me kind of like spread my wings and fly and then, and now I have some artists that work with you that ask me questions
mm.
and like what does that like I don't know, like what do you make of all of it?
Something I think I learned with you, just being adjacent to you, not dealing with all the same things you did, but
Yeah.
Perception is not everything. I feel
Huh.
like you were put in some unfair boxes, and me as someone who knew you and knew what you were chasing and going for, uh, that wasn't those boxes and your character did not align. So I never understood like why would they think this about you? Uh, and
Wow.
then to see you over the years like go to those people who thought those things and change their minds and be like, oh no, Grace is awesome. Like, why would we ever think differently about her?
Yeah.
Um, I think you were just very steady, uh, very yourself at all times, and you still are. And look where it's gotten you.
Why aren't people themselves more often in the music industry, Steven?
I think it's scary to be vulnerable. So if you could try to portray yourself as someone or something else or someone with knowledge or power or cachet, you would do that just to be like, oh, I'm more ahead of myself than you think I am. Let me play that role. But it catches up to you in the end.
Hmm. Yeah, I think about, I had a there was this artist, she I forget who it was actually. Who was it? It was someone, and they were talking about how the reason they feel like a lot of artists from the early 2000s deconstructed later was because when they were young, they got a lot of success very quickly,
Mm,
like being in the music industry. They're being told, preach, do this, do that. Um, and then they have like these highs in their careers, and then they're like, uh, you know, not performing the same
mhm.
and having to share the same story. And now they're getting burnt out sharing literally what their why is, right? And
Yeah.
then they're dropped. And then they were not taught how to be an artist in the background. And then they get to a point where it's like I God did this to me.
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
huh, man, maybe there's not a God,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And she told me that like a lot of the early 2000s, the reason why she feels they've deconstructed is because their identity was in Christianity and in Christian music. And once that got taken away from them
Mm,
as like a career, like as a way to support their families, of course, they turned to God. Of
sure.
course, they turned and went, man, this was supposed to like support me and my family. And I think like, that like when you're talking about like being vulnerable is hard, it's like I wonder what it would have looked like if they, started from the beginning and like full vulnerability from the beginning and built like didn't build their identity around the performance. I think that's what I fight all the time, Steven. Like
Mhm.
for anyone listening, I fight the identity in the performance a little bit. In
Yeah.
like the and I fought that a lot when I moved to town too, and I feel like I was definitely a lot more aggressive than I am now with, I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Um, like straight up, I look back on like 4 years ago and I look at like the interviews and I look at and I think, "Oh my god, girl, like if you would have just slowed your rope." But I think I needed to do that for people to like genuinely fall in love with me, and then me also genuinely and fall in love with me. And so now that I'm growing and like people like you get to watch, like it's like you almost kind of love the story arc a little bit more because
Mm,
you've been so invested from the beginning. But I put a huge identity around being independent at the very, very beginning, and huge identity around, well, I wouldn't say huge identity. I was afraid to tell my story, so I told it really aggressively and I
mm.
told it really head on because, to be honest, I didn't know how to do it to reach a lot of people. I only
Sure.
knew how to do it to like just tell people this is why I'm like high functioning is it's PTSD, right?
Mm,
And now I understand that that's part of my story to reach more people. But I there's part of me that wished I wouldn't have come in as aggressively, but I also knew I kind of needed to learn from that. And then now as an adult, it's like I'm kind of glad I had the I don't give a bleep energy at the very beginning,
Yeah.
because it showed like it what now actually matters. I actually really really care about, and I do give a bleep, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that was worth fighting for and keeping around. So there's elements of that like mentality that I still kind of have,
Mhm.
but I've let go and I've grown up a little bit, and I understand too, like, the industry isn't against me, they're just for themselves. It
Mm.
has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what can support my family, what can feed my kids, what can.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, I'm 30 now, and I'm working for some really cool companies, and I'm working on really cool things. I should probably start thinking about my future a little bit. Is kind of
Yeah.
is kind of where I'm at. But because I've built something so niche out of that, like, behavior-ish, like, now it's kind of like even cooler because it's just mine. And
Mhm.
so I'm grateful I kept that mentality. But I mean, yeah, if I would have watched someone like me come through town, I would have been like, okay, good luck, you know. And I had an artist, she and I were friends at the very beginning, and just fell off the wagon. She came to a show and she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't understand what you were trying to do until now." It was like a
Mm.
year ago. It was like, "Okay, thanks." But yeah, I think there's a there can be as artists, it's like we're just trying to like look out for ourselves. So if we don't understand something, it seems like a threat, so we kind of just like distance ourselves from it.
Yeah, totally.
Um and I'm sure labels are like that too, where it's like, we don't understand what's going on here. So we're just gonna like say, hey, this is just a no from us right now. And then but like I think the difference is, does that artist stop, or do they keep going, and do they grow while they keep going, and
Yeah.
what kind of growth has happened? And then it's like, oh, I've known these people for years and it's working out, you know. It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to be an artist in general, and then you add all of the identity stuff on top of it, and then you add the numbers, and it's
Yeah.
like my a lot of my identity when I first moved to town was around, like, I went viral for some mental health stuff, and I just went full speed ahead with that. And then when I got to a place where I was kind of just like my followers didn't go up at all, but I, had a decent amount, and it just wasn't enough. And so once I kind of like stopped looking for that is when the Lord kind of showed up and broke me a little bit, and then I was able to like come back not whole. I'm doing this, like, what I'm currently working on has to do with my disco ball analogy. I did a album called Breakthrough
Mhm.
last year. And the analogy is like, look at a disco ball. God literally repurposed all those broken pieces from a mirror, and he made something so much more beautiful. And when you reflect his light off of it, it reaches in places that a whole mirror would not have been able to reach, without like bending over backwards, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so I see that. I like thinking about that analogy and leaning into it even more. I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing it with other people, and I understand, like, to be honest, I'm kind of glad everything that's happened to me in town has happened. I'm kind of glad people have looked at me and said, "Oh, your mental health disorders might rub on to other people." And I'm kind of glad, like, people will look at me and go, "Oh, there's just something that," yeah, like, I'm glad that'll happen, because now I get to decide if I will throw that broken piece away or just add it to, like, this disco ball that I'm building. Like,
Mm. That's good. That's good.
so
Mm.
I like, yeah, why don't we lean into the brokenness, Steven? Again, vulnerability, sure, but I
Yeah.
want I want a different answer.
I mean, I think the answer is the same. Sincerity is scary. Um,
Yeah.
and I think, at least at this point in society, it's still scary to be different. And you feel very isolated, like, oh, I'm the only one going through my thing. And yes, probably the unique points, that is true, but someone has gone through something similar. If you share your story, whether it's in the art or in a conversation with a friend or in a church or in some sort of community, whatever you're in, someone else might have something similar and they might have an offering of like, oh, here's what I did. It helped me. Or let's not have you go through that alone. Let's keep talking about it. Um, but it's hard to envision that breakthrough when you're in it.
Huh. Well, yeah, because all you're feeling is a shattering, and you
Yeah.
just look on the floor and go, "Well, that's a mess."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm by myself to clean it up. But like
Mhm.
if you lifted your head, you would see other people around you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I when you brought up, like, the point of, like, you were at the very beginning of it, I think about that often, and I think about and I just like everyone listening, like I feel so loved by Steven like throughout my entire career. Like this as an A&R, he's done an excellent job at just caring about people first.
Oh,
And so
thank
that
you.
was always a quality. Yeah, it was always a quality that like I needed someone to care at the very, very beginning, and you did, and you inspired us. Like you inspired us to move here. You inspired us to maybe consider a life that was different,
Mm,
because like, people don't, like, consider that change can or, like, they don't consider that, like, it can be this, and, right? Like,
ooh, yeah.
I that's Greek mentality versus Hebrew mentality. One of my mentors talks about this a ton, is we are constantly in the Greek, this or that, right? Like, you have to
Mm,
pursue this, you have to pursue that. That's fine. But like Jesus taught in the this, that, and
yeah,
mentality. I think about that a ton. And if you like, I think about that a ton with relationships, with opportunities. I think I don't, to be honest, I didn't really for until recently think about that for opportunities as much until I like have had people speaking into my life going, "Hey, you can do that, but you can also do this too."
yeah.
Oh, and you can have a life on top of that.
Hmm.
It's just I feel like online all we're doing is watching. There's a competition online. There's like a demon online whose name is competition. It's not of God, and it is not, it doesn't have any power. There's no competition at all. And like we look at either they can have it or I can.
Mm,
Either Either they're gonna succeed or I will. It's kind of what our brains unconsciously do when we're first like when we care about something, honestly, when we really care about something.
yeah,
But Jesus told us we could have the kingdom as well. Like there's room for me and other female rock artists. There's room for me and other men who do rock. Like it's not there's this scarcity mindset that comes from online, and so to be honest, yeah, it's hard to look at the broken pieces and then look up because all I see is broken pieces that I've never seen anyone else deal with before. So I don't know how to clean it up. And the and part is the looking outside of it, like 30,000 foot view. And you literally need people for that. You can't
yeah,
I'm of the impression of like, I don't think without you and without my mentors, I would have survived this long because 30,000 foot view is much more a much better view than maybe right in front of us.
mm,
And so I mean, yeah, if there's anyone listening who needs encouragement, like you need that 30,000 foot view person in your life to go, hey, You're the only one thinking about that. Like, "Hey, like, order of songs." I didn't realize no one really cared about what was on an album until recently. I'm like, "Okay." No, like, I'm gonna be dead serious. I know you're an A&R and you're in charge of helping pick the songs and stuff, but, like, I'm working so we did Punk times Praise,
Hmm.
which fun fact, Punk Goes Praise is totally trademarked, and, I can't so I couldn't call it that, which I was so bummed, but, um we this happened out of nowhere from going viral online, and we had to push this project that I'm working on called sophomore year out. Well, and it's coming out this fall. But to be honest with you, I'm doing more writing than I've ever done in my artist life right now, and they're so good. So I'm on the phone with Blake going, "We got to work on a song tonight. um, I don't know if the one we wanted to work on tonight is gonna get cut because I have these 20 billion songs over here that, like, man." And then I was like, "But that doesn't have to do with high school, and that doesn't have to do with this, and that doesn't have to do
Hmm.
with this." And Blake was like, "Grace, I think we're like the only ones who are gonna be thinking about the thematic
Mm,
element of the album. I think if it's a good song, it'll find its place to fit." And, because I have this song that I love that we're gonna add to the end of the album, and I was like, "But wait, I have this idea for a project after the album that would be way better for."
uh,
And Blake's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll produce it no matter what. However, I don't think it matters if it goes on this one or the next."
yeah.
It's that 30,000-foot view of, like, what actually matters right now? Like, is it making sure the order of the album is perfect, or is it, like, the fact that these songs, like, will reach someone no matter what, so which one are we the most excited about that we wanna get out as soon as possible? And so while I have cool high school themed songs for sophomore year, I also have the ones that, like, don't have anything to do thematically, and I think ultimately that'll probably be whatever does the best. Honestly, that's usually what happens is what you think is your favorite is not the one
Uh-huh.
that's gonna
Yep.
that's not. Oh my gosh, if I could preach that, I could preach a whole sermon on that. Like, what you think is actually good is not what a teenage girl in Wisconsin thinks is good. Like, Pressure, I
Hmm.
wrote that after that painful season last year, and it's like a cry for help, honestly. So, and I wrote it as a cry for help, right? It's like, man, this is just gonna be like, I'm just gonna put it out, no expectations. It performs the best with 12-year-old girls, hands down. I get more videos of like 7, 9-year-olds on
Mm.
Instagram dancing to Pressure than I've ever gotten on any other song. And I'm like, why on earth? I wrote that for adults. Like,
Yeah.
I wrote it for adults, but guess what? One day they're gonna be taking a test and they're gonna be like, "The pressure I'm under," like, and it's
Yeah.
it's all thematic. But I don't know. I think we put too much pressure on things, no pun intended. So the 30,000-foot view, like that, I know is you're really good at that, Stephen. You're really good at giving people that 30,000-foot view, and I think that's more valuable than artists want to realize.
Mm. Well, I received that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're like everyone listening, like this man, the belief I think is his strongest trait, and it's awesome.
Well, geez, we should end this before you say anything else nice about me.
Sounds good. I gotta go to therapy next, so maybe I'll just brag to my therapist about how
Yeah,
great you are next.
go for it. Dude, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me and for always creating safe spaces. Like, I hope someone DMs me and goes, "I just listened to Steven's podcast and oh my gosh." Like, I hope someone gets something out of little old me.
I'm sure they will. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.